Hey, my name is Jeremy Schneider. I'm the founder of Personal Fiance Club. I was a computer science major back in college. I went to the University of Michigan. After I graduated college, I started a company, an internet company called RentLinks, which I grew for 12 years. I always paid myself very little. I never paid myself more than $36,000 a year running that company. And then after running it for about 12 years, we got acquired for $5 million, and so I basically became rich overnight. And then I've dedicated myself to learning about personal finance and investing ever since then. And I've started an organization called Personal Fiance Club to help people learn about personal finance and investing. I think the decision that changed the course of my career is when I decided to start a company. I had graduated with a computer science degree from the University of Michigan, and I had a job offer from Microsoft, and I decided to turn it down and start a company on my own. And I did it for basically personal reasons. I didn't really want to work for a big company, even though Microsoft was a great company, and I wanted to stay in my hometown. So I started a company, and it took me years to get it off the ground and figure out what I was doing. But it eventually became pretty successful, and I sold it for $5 million a few years ago. So it worked out great for me. I think one of the biggest mistakes I made in my career was I wasn't very purposeful early on when I was young. I started a business, but I didn't really know what the business was doing. I didn't really have a great idea or plan, and I wasn't doing a lot of research to figure out how to improve it. And so I kind of was just going with the flow, and it took me years to figure it out. And it ended up being okay because I was persistent and I kept hustling and trying to figure it out. But I think in those very early years, if I did more market research and asked more advice and learned more about the space I was in, I think I would have done what it took me 12 years to do. I think I could have done it in about 4 years. I think one thing I should have done differently in my business is seek out the advice of people who had achieved great things before me. I was very stubborn and I was independent, and so I always wanted to do things on my own. And I think that if I had tried to find a mentor or try to find people who have been successful in business and basically ask them how they did it or how they thought I was doing, I think that little bit of feedback loop that would allow me to change my course would have been massively valuable, because I was basically just like feeling my way around a dark room, and it took me years to do. I think if you're a student who's trying to figure out what to major in, one of the best things to do is try to pick a major in which you will be recruited when you graduate instead of someone who's looking for a job. And so you want to go find the careers and go find the companies that are actively recruiting and looking to pay great money to new graduates, rather than have a degree or have a career path where you have to go applying for a lot of jobs. Because if you're applying, you're seeking out jobs, and those are going to be lower paying jobs because they're not in dire need of what you do. But if you're hotly recruited when you come out, then companies will be competing over you. And so go do some research, figure out what are the jobs that are advertising a lot, what are the schools or the companies that are coming to campus looking to hire, what majors are they hiring, what roles are they doing, and ask them, what is the ideal candidate look for? Like, what are the internships, what are the projects that they've worked on, what are the classes, what are the degrees, and just guide your career to be one of those people who is hotly recruited when you graduate. I think one of the most important things you can do to be successful in your career, to guide your career, is to think long term. I think really successful people are always thinking, where am I going to be 5 years or 10 years down the road, and what steps should I be taking today to get there? There's like a saying that says overnight successes take 10 years, because when someone has this amazing overnight success, it came from something they did, the groundwork they laid 10 years ago. And people who find themselves in the same place 10 years later, we're just thinking about the current day, going clocking in, clocking out. And so if you want to start a company, or you want to climb the corporate ladder, or you want to switch careers, or you want to advance your career, think about what that looks like in 10 years, where you want to be, and what a person there would be doing 10 years earlier, which is today. So start laying that groundwork to advance your career and grow to where you need to be later on in life. The advice I always give to people who want to build wealth is to follow the 2 rules. Live below your means and invest early and often. Every single rich person does this. They spend less than they make, and the difference they invest. If you spend every dollar you make, you will always be broke, no matter how much you make. And if you're just saving instead of investing, it won't be enough. So you need to live below your means, spend less than you make, and always invest the difference. And I always recommend buying and holding index funds. They're a low fee way to own the entire US and international stock market. They grow about 10% per year over long periods of time. It's a great way to build wealth.